Welcome to Real Judaism with Rabbi Ari Klapper. Unfiltered wisdom for Jewish life.
Bez Hashem, we're back here on Daf Kuf Ayin Tes. We're in starting the second to last paragraph. Just a little review. Perek Mitzias Am Yisrael, talking about the essence. What is the Jewish people? What is Judaism? What are we? What is the Jewish nation? So he started off here with an explanation that all the nations of the world have their unique qualities to them, their unique look, their unique culture, language, the way they act, the way everything about them is unique. And the Jewish people is not. Hem am levadad. They are not amongst the nations. It's not that the Jewish people is a special nation, because then they would just be one of the nations. They're a special nation, but every nation is special. Every nation is unique. Every nation has their own unique things about them. So then every nation is unique. So the uniqueness of the Jewish people would be the same as the uniqueness of anybody else's, any other people. So what makes the Jewish people different? Because all the nations are in any way different from each other. So we started off in the previous paragraph here, Venira, saying that the Jewish people is like a mirror. And this motion we've used many times in the Sefer, that the Jewish people don't really have anything of themselves. Rather, they are a reflection of whatever they're against. Every other nation has their unique qualities. A mirror, when it's a pure mirror, doesn't have any unique qualities to it. All it is whatever it's reflecting. You know, it can change like a chameleon. It can keep changing depending on where it is. Right now it's facing these people, so it looks like those people. And then the next, 100 years later, it's facing these people. Now it looks like those people. And everyone is very different from the next. Even very interesting. I mean, America is an interesting place in the first place, but what makes America unique is that there are so many people from so many different nations that are mixed with each other, that it's like you have anything that's even uniquely American. I guess there are some things, but it's so diverse that you can't pinpoint what, like, the American people look like this, like the Irish people are a certain way, the Chinese people are a certain way, the French people are a certain way. But America itself was made up of different types of people. In the first place, it's made up that way. The Jewish people is not like that. The Jewish people is one whole people. However, they're going to reflect whichever nation they're around, or whomever they're around. So here we're starting in the second to last paragraph. This is the intentions of HaKadosh Baruch Hu bringing the Jewish people into existence. Shea am levadad be'Eretz Yisrael. They should be a nation that dwells alone in Eretz Yisrael. V'sham tishrei Shechina. There the Shechina should be. The Shechina, right? The Eretz Yisrael is miyuchad because of the Shechina. Yeah, just not even so long ago it was. I don't know, maybe it was a month or two ago. Some guys asked me about the beauty of Eretz Yisrael. And they said, look, if you look and you go around the world, you're going to find places that are prettier. You're going to find places that are more amazing. You're going to find waterfalls that are much bigger and wider. You're going to find sunsets that are more amazing. You're going to find mountains that are more glamorous. Right? I think as a kid, we had this picture book. Not even as a kid. I don't remember when we had it. We had this picture book of the most beautiful places in the world. Right? Fantastic, amazing pictures of the Northern Lights, of twin lakes with different colors. Two lakes that are right next to each other. One is blue and one is green. Maybe it's even the same lake with a cut in half. And you can see amazing pictures. A picture of a pink lake. Really remarkable pictures. So he asked me, well, Eretz Yisrael is not as pretty. Not as pretty. So it reminded me of a story of somebody who was trying to market tourism in Israel, right? Every country is looking for tourism. It's a big way of making money, tourism. And they wanted, how are we going to get more people to come to Israel? What are we going to do? So some expert came and, toured around the country, looked around different, and he came and he said, look, you have a lot of pretty things here in the country. A lot of beautiful areas, and even very diverse. You have deserts and you have mountains and you have valleys and you have all different types of things. But let me tell you something. In terms of the pure physical beauty, all of this stuff you can find in other places. That's not the right way to market. You have to market something that you have unique that nobody else has. Therefore, I suggest that you should market the spirituality. That's what you have over here that nobody else has. That's what you should market. That's what you should be pushing here, right? And that's really what Eretz Yisrael is. Eretz Yisrael is the Eretz Asher Tomid Einei Hashem Elokecha Bo. Hashem is looking. His eyes are here in Eretz Yisrael. He's looking at Eretz Yisrael. That's what makes Eretz Yisrael special. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu is here. That the Shekhinah is here. As long as we want the Shekhinah to be here, and the Shekhinah, if we don't do things the way that the Shekhinah wants, that makes the Shekhinah want to be here, then He's going to throw us out. Like, unfortunately, happened already twice in the history of Klal Yisrael. We got thrown out of Eretz Yisrael because of not behaving in the way that the Shekhinah appreciates. But that's what it is. That's what Eretz Yisrael is. Eretz Yisrael is the Shekhinah. That's what you have to market. That's what you have to push. That means get into it. So therefore, you can, I guess, imbibe them. The nature of spirituality, of the holiness, the higher holiness. That's what Eretz Yisrael is. This is the place where Klal Yisrael is supposed to be in order to imbibe, I guess, or just to soak up the kedushah. That's what Eretz Yisrael is supposed to be, and this is our purpose, right? It's not HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't just say to Abraham Avinu, I'm going to give this land to your children, right? As a gift, right? Meaning, like, I want to do something nice. I want to give you as a gift. In fact, Klal Yisrael had this taina on Moshe Rabbeinu. The taina was, why are you giving us Eretz Yisrael? Eretz Yisrael is not as good as Mitzrayim. Let's take Mitzrayim instead. Why? Why is Mitzrayim better than Eretz Yisrael? Because in Mitzrayim, they have the Nile, and they have all these aqueducts. And they don't have to worry about planting or everything because there's endless supply of water. It's easy. It's great. It's wonderful. In Eretz Yisrael, we have to rely on rain. And who says it's going to rain? How do you know? And I think Rashi even brings a marshal, like, if you have these two fields, you give the better field to the son that you like, and the not as good field to the other son. So why is Hashem giving us the worst field? Why is Hashem giving us the worst land? But they totally missed the boat. It's just the opposite. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to take care of everything. We need rain, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to take care of it. We just have to deserve it. And then we won't have to do anything. We won't even have to work to bring the water from the Nile. Go to sleep and Hashem will take care of everything. That's much better. Hashem shows us how much He loves us. But we have to be ready for that. We have to show Him we are here to be in the land, to be close to Him. That's why we're here. That's what the purpose of Eretz Yisrael is. Eretz Yisrael is not just to be some economic, wonderland where we know how to, use them, make the land grow crops. That's not what Eretz Yisrael is. Eretz Yisrael is a place where we connect to the Shekhinah. That's the reason why Hashem said, to Abraham Avinu, I'm giving you your children because your children are going to be connected to me. That's why you're getting this land, because this is where the Shekhinah is. V'alkein nikras Knesset Yisrael midas malchus shamayim. This is why Klal Yisrael, the Knesset Yisrael, acquires the midah of malchus shamayim Yisrael he mamish kimo hayareach mul hashemesh. That's our purpose. That's our essence. That we are supposed to be reflecting the kedushah of Hashem, just like the moon reflects the sun. Shehem la'atlum ein lehem tchuna v'givun. The moon itself has no light of its own. V'darcham mishtakef kavod Hashem yizbarach ba'olam. And the purpose is just to reflect HaKadosh Baruch Hu in this world. So we said that's what the Jewish people is. It's a mirror. You know what we're supposed to be reflecting? We're not supposed to be reflecting Americans, and we're not supposed to be reflecting any other country in the world. We're supposed to be reflecting Hashem. Ayin b'perush hagra shir hashirim perak aleph pasuk gimel shelachoyra perusho mekor ledevarim ha'elu. It's very interesting because many times the throughout the Sefer and many other of the Svarim or Pinkas, he actually doesn't bring the source for many of the things that he says. He even writes it in the beginning of the Sefer that he apologizes for not bringing sources. Here he actually brings a source for this idea. The essence of the Jewish people is, the purpose of their being in existence is to reflect the light of Hashem. That is what makes Klal Yisrael special and unique. This is the reason also for why we had to deal with the Churban. When Klal Yisrael, instead of sticking one-on-one with the Ribbono Shel Olam, instead they mix with the other nations. They soak up the culture, the nature of the nation that they are embedded in more than any other nation that's involved with that nation. The American Jews are more American than any other group in America. We are more American than I don't want to say than the Americans, because we're the most Americans that there is, right? We believe in the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution and all those really nice little things, right? Civil rights. It happens to be a very interesting thing that in the 60s, during the civil rights movement, some of the biggest pushers in the civil rights movement were Jews. We became super American, right? Because that's the nature of what a Jew is. He whatever he's with, he becomes part of that. Much more than any other nation. That is the nature of a Jew. It itself is nothing. What is its nature? To become whatever it's around, right? Like a chameleon. Whatever color you're with, you change to that color. Whoever you're with, you become them. That's what a Jew is. But it works bein l'tov, bein l'muto, because we're supposed to be with Hashem, and we're supposed to be with Hashem. So then we're going to be reflecting Hashem, and we're going to be imbibing Hashem, and we're going to be becoming a nation that reflects Hashem. And if we're not with Hashem, and that's the whole thing of the Churban, what happened with the Churban is that we were not with Hashem. We became part of the other nations. If we become part of the other nations, so then you've left Hashem. The Meshech Chochmah says this, I believe in Parshas B'chukosai, where it's almost like prophetic, that he talks about way before the Holocaust, but almost from his words, I mean, almost like he saw what was coming, that they started calling Berlin Yerushalayim, right? The Meshech Chochmah, from Meir Simcha of Dvinsk, right? The Meshech Chochmah said that they started calling Berlin Yerushalayim, meaning what do we have to go to Yerushalayim for? We are here already, right? The culture, right? And that's really what the Enlightenment was about. It was about becoming more civilized, becoming more enlightened, right? And that's why, unfortunately, many thousands of Jews left Yiddishkeit to become more like the Goyim. It's exactly what happens. And that's what led to a horrible Churban. V'al zeh ksiv v'yitarvu b'goyim v'yilmadu ma'aseihem. And the pasuk in Tehillim says that they mixed with the Goyim and learned from their deeds. V'ksiv v'avadetem b'goyim. You will be lost amongst the nations. She'en lecha uma shekolola kol kach litbatel betocha uma acheres kamo Yisrael. There is no nation that so easily gets soaked up by the other nations as the Jewish people. Wherever the Jewish people go, they become part of that nation. Masha Omru Chazal Shlosha Simanim Yesh Bu'umazu. Famous Gemara in Yevamos talks about what is the Simanim, the Midos. How can you tell if somebody's a Jew? He said, what do you mean? The Jews don't have their own Midos. It's whatever they're reflecting, that's what they have. This is the uniqueness of the Jews. So what does it mean that the Gemara said there are three Simanim, Rachmanim, that they are merciful, Baishonim, that they are bashful or easily made felt guilty, right? They call Jewish guilt, right? The Goyim lechasadim, and they are doer of good deeds. These three aspects, Rachmanim, Baishonim, and Goyim lechasadim, are the midos of a Jew. So you see over here from this Gemara that the Jews do have something unique, a unique aspect to them. Lo she'ela tchunas b'nei Yisrael me'ikar yitzirasam. Excuse me. Lo she'ele tchunos b'nei Yisrael me'ikar yitzirasam. This is not the actual nature of the Jewish people from their creation. Ela kemo she'amru mi she'en lo boishes panim b'yadua shelo amdu avoisav al har Sinai. Rather, it's coming off of a different Gemara that says that anybody who does not have boishes panim, meaning anybody who is brazen, anybody who is absolutely brazen, we know that his parents did not stand at Har Sinai. That means, I actually just learned this Gemara, and I asked a Shailab on this. Does that prove that the person is not Jewish? If a person you see has such a brazen nature, does that prove that he's not Jewish? Because that's what it sounds like from this Gemara. It proves that he's not Jewish. Which means, and this is what he says, Har Sinai amud ponim el ponim im Hashem Yisborach. When Klal Yisrael was there, and they saw the Ribbono Shel Olam at on Har Sinai, nichretu bezoich midos utchunos kedushas charita amuka menitzchis. What went into the Jewish people at that moment, when they were standing on Har Sinai, was ingrained into them forever. This fear, boishes panim, this yiras Hashem, is ingrained in them. What does that mean? What that means is they themselves didn't have it. Before Har Sinai, they weren't baishan. They weren't baishanim and boishes panim. Where did they get boishes panim from? They got the boishes panim from standing opposite Hashem. Hashem put it into them. Aval ein elet chunas b'nei Yisrael mitzidam. Didn't come from them. This is an amazing thing, because what he's saying over here is that yes, Klal Yisrael is a mirror, but it's possible that there's something that could be so ingrained in them so that they soaked up something to such a degree that it will remain with them forever. And that's this boishes panim. How? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu ingrained it into them. So any midah that Klal Yisrael, the midos of Klal Yisrael that are permanent, when it's mashma for the Gemara and Yevamos that these are permanent midos of Klal Yisrael, it's because they got them from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's because panim keneged panim, when we were facing the Ribbono Shel Olam, that fear became part of our essence. But before that, it wasn't. Which means also the same thing. We only got it from Hashem. We didn't have it from ourselves. Maseches Sukkah, Amar Reb Shimon ben Lakish, yetzer shel Adam izgaber alav kol yom. Umebakesh la'amiso. The Gemara in Maseches Sukkah says that the Reish Lakish says a person's yetzer hara all day is working against him. He's always trying to get him to sin. He wants to kill him. Right? People don't realize. A lot of people think the yetzer hara is their best friend. Yetzer hara is not your best friend. Yetzer hara is your worst enemy. He's a rasha. He's just trying to kill you. The rasha is always looking to the tzaddik to try to kill him. If it wouldn't be that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will help him, he'll support him, he'll pick him up. There's no way to beat the yetzer hara. Hashem lo yazvenu biyado. Hashem will not leave him. Because of Rabbi Itzla, I think it's Rabbi Itzla Petterberger who wrote the Sefer Koich Or, I believe. He asks a very interesting question. Why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu create a problem that there was no solution to? The only solution to this problem is with Hashem. The only solution to beating the yetzer hara is Hashem. So he created a problem for us that we can't beat. We can't deal with the yetzer hara. It's impossible. The yetzer hara is so strong that we can't possibly beat the yetzer hara. The only way we could beat the yetzer hara is with Hashem. So Hashem created something that the only thing that could beat it was himself. So why are you testing us with it? Why are you giving us a test on something that we know we can't do on our own anyway? Why did Hashem give such a power to the yetzer hara Because they make it impossible. That he said it's impossible for a person to beat it. See over there what Rabbi Itzla himself adds as. Oh, so let's see the answer that he brings. You saw already the answer? Okay, so let's see. Okay, let's see. He says, the answer to this question really, says Rav Pinkus, is that is itself the essence of the Jewish people. Shehem midas malchus shamayim. That they are the midah, they are the character trait of what's called malchus shamayim. Means we, the Jewish people, are supposed to be reflecting that Hashem is the king of the world. That's what we're supposed to be doing. Shedarcham royim et HaKadosh Baruch Hu atzmo kibiyachol. That through the Jewish people, the rest of the nations of the world, the whole world can see Hashem. If it would be possible for a human being to be able to beat the yetzer hara on his own, because then you would see, oh, you know how strong the Jewish people are? They can even beat the yetzer hara. And that would tell you about the Jewish people, but it wouldn't tell you about Hashem. The Jewish people are supposed to be reflecting Hashem. It would not tell you about Hashem. It would tell you about the Jewish people. It would tell you the Jewish people are a strong people. The Jewish people have so much strength that they can beat the yetzer hara. They don't need God to beat the yetzer hara. They could do it on their own. But now that the Jewish people don't have the power, it's not possible for them to beat the yetzer hara. And the only way for them to beat the yetzer hara is if HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself comes and helps them. You know what that means? It means that when they see a tzaddik beat his yetzer hara, they actually see Hashem. Because there's no way he could have beaten the yetzer hara. How did he do that? It's not possible. How was he able to do it? It was Hashem. And you see Hashem. That is the purpose of all of Klal Yisrael, to see Hashem. You see somebody withstand an incredible nisayon? How could that be? How could a person do that? How could Rabbi Akiva deal with such torture and still be davak to Hashem? How could that be? How could people come out of Gaza and their emunah is much, much stronger than when they went in? They're more davak to HaKadosh Baruch Hu than ever before. How could that be? It's because you can see Hashem. There's no answer. The only answer is a supernatural answer, and that's exactly what we're looking for. We're looking to see Hashem. When we say the only answer is supernatural, oh, there's Hashem. You just saw him. When you say it's impossible, it has to be supernatural, Hashem, and that's what we're supposed to be bringing out. Klal Yisrael, the Jewish people as a whole, is supposed to be bringing that all over the place. How is it possible? The whole existence of the Jewish people is Hashem. We're only here, we only exist because of Hashem. That's exactly what our tachlis is. Okay, well, Bez Hashem, not next week. Bez Hashem, hopefully in 2 weeks, we'll start Perek Gimel. Bye.
Thank you for joining Real Judaism, where we explore Torah's wisdom for real life. Created by J Foundations and produced by Eli Podcast Productions. Find more episodes at realjudaism.org and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.